Hey, what's up, y'all? Matt, Dlux, DluxFab.com. Today, we're showing you what we've been working on. So, Class 3, you guys saw me build this over the last few weeks. About a couple weeks back. Saw me put this thing together on here for the channel. So, we finally got the body done. As you can see, I used a Power Wagon body. Now, full disclosure, I know Power Wagon body's kind of cliche. But I've been sitting on this body for probably over a year. Haven't found the right build for it. Maybe 2 years. I love the look of it. I just hadn't found the right build for it. I don't really build scale trail type trucks. So it didn't really fit anything that I wanted to build it on. Class 3 came along. Got to build this truck. I love it. You guys saw it on the channel. We're going to be doing some more video of it soon, out in the woods. But we did the Power Wagon body. So I think it looks good proportionally with the 5 1/4 inch tires. Excuse me, and all that. So what we did though, we had to do something different with the bed. What we ended up doing is we narrowed the bed. We chopped the section out of the middle. We made it shorter, and we made the tailgate fit. So I'll show you guys basically more or less how we did that. There's these lines down the middle. I cut down one of these lines for the boards. And then I basically stacked 2 of those sections on top of each other. And then I screwed it back together. And then I cut the back off, pulled it in. And I took the tailgate section. I narrowed it as well. Now, the goal was kind of look for a kind of a utility bed. Kind of a service truck look. I think I kind of got that. The paint turned out, trying to go outside and paint in the cold and then bring it back in the dry. Sometimes you have some issues with that. I know I do. But yeah, so there's the body on that. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of that in the future. We're going to go out in the woods, play with that some more. You guys will see in this truck. That's our Class 3 Nessie. Front and rear steer. SSD Dlux axles front and rear. High clearance center sections. Got our rear servo skid. 5 1/4 inch tusks, 2 high clearance wheels. Just cool stuff here. So because I wanted to show you guys that. We'll be seeing more of that here in the future. I'm going to sticker it up, and or you got any other ideas? I kind of like to make this look more like a like toolboxes, but I'm not quite sure how to go about that. If y'all's got ideas for that, put them in the thing down below. So now, secondly, I've had some few guys ask me in the past about putting AR44 axles underneath a Nessie chassis and what it would take to do that. Why AR44 axles, you might ask? Well, because you probably already have some sitting around if you've been in the hobby any length of time. 2, you could buy some cheap ones on the internet, Scamazon, whatever, real cheap. So you could have a good base for your truck for not a lot of money. Facebook Marketplace, you could probably find. I've seen SCX102 rigs go on Facebook Marketplace for as little as like $150, sometimes $100. Generally, it's around $200. People have had it, been sitting around a while. You want to build another truck? You're like, I don't want to spend, $500, $600, $800,000 on axles or whatever for your foundation for your new truck. SCX102 axles are a great way to go about that, and you can put them underneath the Nessie. You can put them underneath anything. So, but for brevity, what we did, we put them underneath this Nessie truck. So, this is your typical Nessie. It's got OD3. It's got a stumping motor in it. But what we did was we put AR44s underneath it. The rear axle was a straight drop-in for the link kits that comes with the Nessie. That was easy peasy, no big deal. Fits pretty good. As you can see, got good clearance and all that. Great. The front took a little bit more work. Now what I did was, as I linked the lowers and upper links, about 1/4 inch. So I'll get your measurements on those here in a few. But what that did was it pushed us forward enough so that we could use our AR44 servo mount kit there behind the axle setup. But it gives us enough room for the motor to not hit, the back of the servo mount. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit room in there. About a finger's width, probably 10, 12 mil. You could pull that front axle further back if you wanted to, easy enough, just by changing the length of the links. I went with the length I did because it seemed right at the time. You know how these things go. Now, what I did for mock-up purposes, these are the regular Nessie links for the front lowers. I just added a J-Dol rod in, as you can see here. That's about a 1/4 inch long than the typical Revo rod in we usually use. So that pushed that bottom one out about a 1/4 inch. And then I made up some upper links. These are just all thread and Revo rod ends for uppers. Now, these are straight links. These are either, you know, in compression or what's the word? I can't think of it right now. Pull. I can't think of the right word, but yeah. So that's plenty strong for what it is. I'm going to order up the right links for it now that I have it mocked up. I may run this truck next season against some of the local guys and a couple local series just to prove that a more budget-minded truck can do just as well as a full-on, you know, built to the hilt. So, the lower links, I 94 millimeters on the lower links, and I did 93 on the uppers, and it fits in there nicely. So when you guys are wanting to make links for stuff, I said before, 8/32 all thread and Revo ends is like the cheapest way you can mock up links. And if they're straight like uppers like this, that'll hold up fine. It's not as nice as titanium. It's not as light as titanium, but you know, we like nice things. But that'll get you there. And then if you want to adjust it, you can, once you know what you need, you can cut it down easy. You can replace it. You can bend it easy. There's great mock-up links. Now that we know the lengths of them, we use the bottom length, for example. That was 94 millimeters. So to find out the base length you would order from the website, 94 millimeters, you would subtract 14 millimeters for the rod ends, 7 mil for each end from your eye-to-eye length. So your eye-to-eye desired length is, say, 94 millimeters. You subtract 14, it's 80 millimeters. You would buy a base length of 80 millimeters. Now, if you wanted to shorten this, you would just subtract that. Say you wanted to take 5 mil out of this to pull the servo mount 5 mil closer to the motor. So you would take that 94, subtract, it would be, take your 94, subtract 14, that's your 80 millimeter base length, subtract 5 more millimeter, that'd be 75 millimeter. So that would get you the length you needed. It's not rocket surgery to figure this stuff out, guys. A lot of times you can just grab some links you have, mock the truck together, and that will tell you what you need. Or swap rod ends around. There's a lot of rod ends around nowadays, 4 millimeter and 3 millimeter, that are different lengths. Some of them are angled, some of them are bent, some of them are offset. There's a gang of them out there available now. It's not that hard to do. I think that pretty much covers this week's update. Hope you all are doing well. And hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks. So here's how we fit AR44 axles on the Nessie. The rear links, no change. Same as on a SS Dlux straight axle rear. That fits mint. No changes at all. The front, we had to lengthen these front links a little bit. The bottoms are 94 millimeter eye to eye. And the tops are 93 millimeter eye to eye. Now that's using our AR44 front link mount and servo mount setup here. So as far as changes that we made to make this work, so like I said, the lowers, I just added J-Dol ends instead of Revos. These are available on Traxxas, or I'm going to get like I said, the measurement eye to eye is 94. I'm going to order proper links that are the right size. Even though we lengthened these front links by, a 1/4 inch, say 5-6 millimeters, the wheelbase of the truck didn't change that much. It's still approximately 13 inches. Get it in frame, that would be helpful. It's still approximately 13 inches just because the link mount differences where the links mount on the axles. If you look closely, we'll use the rear axle, for example, or the front, either one, it doesn't really matter. These points here are actually closer to the center point of the axle tube than the SS Dlux axle design. So that effectively shortens the wheelbase up, but adding it back in the front to make this clear makes your wheelbase pretty much the same. So we're going to do some looking over the next few days. If there's some interest and you guys want to see it, I can do a full-on budget build on a Nessie. You guys can do... The AR44 axles are so cheap. You can find them everywhere. You probably have some sitting in a box. To put those on a Nessie, super quick and easy, as I just showed you guys. And then with the OD3 transmission in here, with under and over gears, same as you would use in a DX44 and SS Dlux, you still get that 38% overdrive. So that's pretty much how I did it, guys. It's pretty straightforward. If I can do it, you can do it. So, concerns, questions? Figured I'll show you guys. All right, have a great day, y'all. See ya.